However rational we might be, however scientific, however dedicated and faithful to the discipline and application of reason, one thing remains, that we cannot live without beliefs. The most strident of reason-loving atheists yet have their beliefs. But let me say it now, and without ambiguity, that these are functional beliefs drawn from experience and have no association with the concept, as applied in theology, of faith. For example, when crossing a busy street at traffic lights, it's a belief, and only a belief, that no cars will ignore the red light and make of you a permanent resident of the asphalt. Yet you cross, whilst you cannot know that you will not be at threat of being run over. You can reasonably believe, as a consequence of prior experience, that you'll be safe. Now, life is replete with examples of such functional beliefs, and we're all subject to them, for who could possibly function in this world without them? If then such forms of belief are not only acceptable, but patently necessary, does this not constitute an adequate defence of beliefs pertaining to the supernatural, or to any of the ultimate questions posed by philosophy? On no account is this so, and it's the immediate purpose and hope of this essay to demonstrate, as satisfactorily as possible, the important, indeed the crucial, difference between a functional belief grounded in experience and a metaphysical belief grounded in faith. It's perhaps appropriate also that I give an account of myself in regard to my use in this essay of the term metaphysical belief. The term metaphysics has come to be associated vernacularly with the supernatural, the mystic, the occult, and otherworldliness generally. This, however, is not how the term should be taken. The term metaphysics comes from Aristotle and was the title of his work, which came directly after his Physics. It refers to the totality of what is real, that is, to capital T, truth, what is ultimately true of reality. The materialism of a rationalist is in the end as much a metaphysic as the otherworldliness of a theist. In this particular essay, my references to metaphysical beliefs should be taken as pertaining to those with religious connotations, which admit no analysis by accepted rational means, and which are therefore grounded in faith. The traffic light example is only one of countless possible examples that might be proffered in the context of this argument. The one constant in all such examples is that of heuristics, that is, learning from trial and error, or from experience. And of course the error needn't be our own, and it's often better that it's not. We feel confident in the prospect of our safe passage across the busy intersection because previous experience has indicated this sense of security to be warranted. Of course, you'll note that even in such cases, the added precaution of checking the status of the traffic, or looking both ways, is still employed. This constitutes a belief on our part, since we cannot know with certainty that we will be safe, only that experience tells us that it's probable. Our heuristic tools grant us an expedient passage through life, which is, it must be said, something less than perfect, but, it must also be said, the best we can sensibly expect. The question may then be raised about the nature of the first experience. That is, what psychological tool are we using when we first come upon such a thing as an intersection? If we are without prior experience, is our decision to cross not an act of blind faith? A more fundamental question, perhaps, is whether or not we will in fact cross at all, assuming that we have no prior knowledge of the etiquette involved, and assuming also we are aware enough to perceive the potential danger of the situation. The answer to this question hinges on the degree of need. If we must cross, then crossing will be an act of necessity rather than one of faith. If, however, our need is not so great as to warrant taking any perceived risk, then we simply will not cross. Unfortunately, our learning from experience is most often driven by need rather than reason. But one thing is certain: no one other than the clinically insane, regardless of previous experience with intersections, would cross over on the basis of faith in the decency of one's fellows. So, if we require beliefs to function in this world, at what point then do beliefs become unacceptable, or at the very least, rationally indefensible? The short answer is the point at which they are taken to be true. One of the most important differences between a functional belief which is grounded in experience and a metaphysical belief which is grounded in faith is that the former is always taken as a mere expedient tool, whereas the latter is almost always taken as ultimately true. This is no minor point, and no minor difference.